Okay, so I walked around my apartment. Like, I've walked up and down the stairs. I've sat, I've thought about it. I've done a couple of other videos, and then I've scrapped them all because it's like, it's a certain way that I want to be. It's a certain spirit that I want to be in, but I'm in that spirit because what's in my heart is just to share something. So I'm just going to share my shit, okay? I'm just going to share it. So, oh my God, and I'm still having this issue. And I've written it down. I need to write it down because I've written it so many times. I know exactly what I want to say, right? But it's just not coming out. This is throat chakra shit right here. It's throat chakra. So you ever thought that you were, you had gone through a situation, you experienced something and you healed? Oh my. Okay. So I'm sitting at my desk on November 28th of last year, November 28th of 2022. I'm at my desk in my bedroom, and I'm just about to shut it down finally. This is on it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, almost 4 o'clock in the morning, maybe sometime between 3 and 4, whatever. And my room lights up orange. Like, my room is bright orange. So I'm thinking that it's my son that's in his bedroom, which is his room touches my room. It's right next door to mine. And so I'm yelling to him like, hey, what are you doing in there? What is that? It's not like natural light, though. I mean, it technically is natural. But anyway, I knew something was going on. And so I get up and open the door to go into the bedroom, and there's a blazing fire just behind the door. It's a blazing fire. My daughter comes out, and it's pitch black in the house. It's black in my bedroom because, again, the only light that I had on was from the computer that I just shut off. And right when I shut it off, the room turned orange. My whole room, there was no darkness in my room. Okay? That's through a crack in the door. So other than that, the house is still black. My daughter's in the house. She's asleep. My son is gone. It's just us. And so we're both in there fighting this fire. Now, the fire is on a wicker table, a wicker nightstand. High polish, high gloss wicker table that had a 3-wick candle on it. That I guess the candle that burned all the way out, there was nothing left. And usually candles kind of go out on their own most of the time. But in this case, it's a really big candle. It exploded. So that I learned that after the fact. I didn't know that that's what had happened. But an investigation revealed that. But anyway, and so the candle is on fire on the table. The table is sitting right next to a mattress, a bed. So the mattress is on fire. The pillows are on fire. The bedding is on fire, and the ceiling fan was on. And so all those things, the comforter, period, the comforter was dancing on the ceiling. Not necessarily on the ceiling, just beneath. It's between the ceiling fan and the bed. It was a horrific ass scene. It was absolutely terrible. So I decided to try to put the fire out because there was so much. And so I know that if you smother a fire, it will go out. Despite having an extinguisher in the hall and both in the stairwell, we live in a high rise, or we used to live in a high rise. I thought to use the portion of the comforter that wasn't already on fire to put it out, and that made it worse for a moment. And because this is a wicker table, there was nothing really underneath it to truly smother the fire. And so after I'd finally gotten it out, though, on the surface of the table and on the mattress, what was left that was still kind of burning on the table burnt through the table and fell down onto some fireworks that then went off. Okay. I need to stop. Okay. I just needed a moment. And so I'm still shaking a little bit. Obviously, I'm talking about it more than I have. Anyway, so I put the fire out. I did smother it. It all went out. So it's just smoke, no actual live flame. And I'm trying to figure out how to tell. Me and my daughter tried to put it out. We did put it out by suffocating it with the blanket that was the comforter that was already on fire. I've not experienced this part of anxiety where my hands are shaking. And it clearly is shaking, and I don't want to get emotional as I've been trying so hard to make this video. And I don't have a tripod. I'm going to get one. I am going to get one. I have a tripod. It didn't appear. I'm going to get a tripod, but I didn't anticipate that I would have these issues. I've never had shaky hand anxiety. That's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother video. I would love to talk to you about that and share my experience with that. Oh my God, my hands are shaking so bad. Okay. I see myself. I don't want you to see all that shit. Okay, because I just moved in here. So, we put that fire out 3 times. 3 times. I didn't have a fire extinguisher. I wasn't ready. I got caught with my pants down. Let me say that. And this is me preaching it to children, preaching it to other people about safety and blah, blah, blah. And honestly, I have in every place. Before this, I've had a fire extinguisher. I did not. Okay. I'm going to try to finish again. Okay. So this thing caught fire. It was reignited. The fire was reignited 3 times. 3 times I put this fire out, right? And it just kept reigniting. And I believe at the end of the investigation, it's just the fact that it was the high gloss finish on the wicker nightstand and the comforter and basically all of the bedding, the pillows, the sheets, the mattress, the layers of foam. It was just a hot mess. And so to put the fire out without a fire extinguisher, because in my state of trauma, I lost it. And I didn't think to go to the kitchen and get the fire extinguisher because there was one in the kitchen. And we went in the kitchen several times to get water, buckets of water, or whatever I could put water in once the fire kept coming back. So anyway, so we put the fire out and then rushed to the kitchen to start bringing the water. And the fire reignites while I'm in the kitchen, me and my daughter, Leah. It reignited. And so we go, back in there. And she's like, oh my God, Mommy, it's going again, blah, blah, blah. So I run back in there and I'm beating it and we're pouring water on it. And it's like it's just hopping around. And then finally, that wicker's table broke and the fire burnt through the top of that table and fell down on some fireworks. It was a whole movie scene. No, it was an entire horror movie scene. It was Stephen King. It was Steven Spielberg worthy. It was Steven worthy. Yes, both of which I absolutely, completely respect their body of work and them as men. Okay, well, what I know of them as men, and creators of much. But anyway, it was absolutely horrific. It was horrific. Fell through onto the fireworks. Obviously, the fireworks didn't catch on fire right away, because we realized that we needed water because the fire had reignited. We needed more water. And so we go back into the kitchen, run back into the kitchen. And when we come back, like as soon as we hit the door, then the fireworks are popping every damn where. There was a Roman candle in there and some type of, it goes, zoom, zoom, zoom. I don't know how to say it. A zigger. I have one upstairs on my desk. I will get that, and I'll make sure to put a picture of that, of one of them. But they're the ones that you light them and they go in circles, and sometimes they go up in the air and sometimes they run around. But you definitely hear zoo, zoo. It does that. And it did that out of the room. So then the fire left from the bedroom and went into the living room. It was in the living room, went under the couch, the chase part of my sectional, and was in the corner next to a furnace that was in the building, in that room. And there's a real fire in there also. Not as big as the one in the bedroom, but it was in there. It was in there. So I started putting that out. And then the one that I just stomped out in the room with the fireworks, the family of fireworks, not the stray that got away, but I had to go back. I was in there like Beetlejuice. Woo! It was fucking awesome. Woo! It was absolutely terrifying. And so, cutting through all of it, once it was all put out, finally, water everywhere, smoke everywhere. We opened up all the windows in the whole place. That we ended that, I'm going to say maybe 5:40 something in the morning. It was right before 6 o'clock in the morning. And I took a shower and laid down. And I still got up and went to work. The very next morning, I got up and went to work. This is November 28th, 2022. I went to work the very next morning. I believe that is the date. I haven't looked at it since that date. I don't think that I could forget it. I could be mistaken about the dates. I'm pretty sure it's November the 28th, though. I'll just have to look back at my journal entries, and I'll confirm that maybe when I get back upstairs to my desk. But anyway, so that's the issue with the fire. I went to work the next morning, sat down, and I knew as soon as I sat down, like I didn't even get to take my purse off my shoulders. I told my boss, I was like, I am so sorry. I know I shouldn't be here. I know I need to leave. There was a fire at my apartment this morning, and I'm not okay to be here. And she allowed me to go home. I'm saying she allowed me. I was going home. I went home, and I was there. I was there for a while after that, for some days. It completely knocked me on my ass. I went through, because everything about how I handled the situation, I mean, it's a reflection of just how traumatic it really was. I didn't do anything right. First of all, I didn't have renter's insurance. That's first. Second, I hadn't really enforced the rule about if you light a candle, you won't leave the house without putting that thing out. You wouldn't think that you need to, like, especially if your children are adults like mine. I am a millennial mom, so my children are millennials. because we're ex. I believe that. Are they considered Zen? I have to. 24-year-old set of twins, a boy and girl twin, and my oldest daughter, my oldest little queen. I miss calling her princess, but she's married now. My oldest is 25, so I'm just happy that my hand isn't shaking right now. I don't look like I'm having an earthquake. Oh my God, that's never happened to me. And this is just, and the anxiety has many faces that I'm learning. I've had the giggles. Obviously, I've had the hyperventilating. I've had the heavy, crazy sweats. I stutter. Like, that's all, folks. I get that shit bad. It's so bad. And it's all post-COVID, because before I had COVID, I did not know anxiety. We were not friends. I knew of anxiety, but we did not have any type of relationship. Okay. But anyway, so I sat for days in my apartment. And I had just come back off of leave. Again, it's heavy anxiety. It's heavy anxiety. Going through some post-traumatic stress syndrome from my job. Another movie. It's another movie, actually. Or maybe it's the same movie. Maybe if I was like maybe a Lifetime series, a Hallmark movie, something like that. Maybe something like that. But I was coming through something. I was working 2 full-time jobs. Just to pick myself up after a divorce and after my own poor spending habits. Not poor spending, because I don't even buy shit for myself. I overlove, I overgive, I overnurture, and I know that about myself. I'm not necessarily proud of it, but I damn sure I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not. I pay the full consequence when you overdo anything, you pay the full consequence of that. Sometimes that can be losing connections and friendships. I haven't lost anybody. The ones that my immediate circle, like my mom and sisters and my dad and my children, my nephews, that's the tribe. That's my earthly family. It's a family that I came in here, the same blood in our veins. And then I have a forming soul tribe. And I'm also not opposed to accepting or being accepted into anyone else's tribe, as long as you are all about positivity and you know about the frequency of love and the vibration of love. Because I don't turn down anything good, which is why I never mind being something good or doing something good or saying something good. And I'm so tired of people saying that shit is fake. I recently learned about the term pick me from my ex-husband, who told me I was a fucking unicorn, first of all, which I took that as a compliment. And he said that some may see you as a pick me girl. He said, but I don't see you that way. I know that you're genuine. I know that you are real. And I love that about you. And so he is extremely intelligent, and I've learned a lot from him. And when we're in a conversation, I'm Googling while we are talking, because he is super intelligent, like almost intimidating. But for me, it's the opposite. It actually, I didn't know that was still in there. And so I will come back to that, because that is something for a whole nother episode. That's a huge part of my healing. I shouldn't have did healing, because it is healing. It is actually healing. And not that I am healed. I am overcoming. I'm overcoming it. So, well, anyway, so I sat there with that fire and all the smoke that happened, and the lesson is to go over my my readiness plan within my home. That was a huge lesson for me. I've never had anything like that happen. And I've never experienced something like that. Other types of traumas, but not that one. And so, here are the mistakes that I made. I didn't have the fire extinguisher on deck. I didn't, because I hadn't revisited. You should be talking about it on a regular basis, like maybe quarterly in your home. Just going, not necessarily with the checklist or anything like that. You ain't got to get all like that, but just to be more conscious of the security of your home from inside and out. And so I just made a slew of mistakes and errors, and I beat myself up for a long time about that. And then I let myself all the way down from the cross on that. Because people make mistakes. I made a mistake. The penalty for the mistake that I made with this fire, first and foremost, was not having renter's insurance. First and foremost was not enforcing and then reinforcing the rules of my house to not leave shit burning and then leave when you have stuff burning. Okay, so that was one. And then, okay, then had I had renter's insurance, I wouldn't be in my current predicament, right? Because for me, it's like, so here's some of what I've experienced while I'm going through the, okay, well then there's also this one part, the one part where after a traumatic event, to give myself the time to really absorb whatever just happened. I went to work right after, like right after the event, less than like a few hours, not even 2, maybe 3 hours later, I was sitting my ass at my desk. And I checked myself as soon as I sat down, like, what are you doing? What am I doing? What was I doing? Trying to be there for the team, trying not to let nobody down. I know that we were kind of thin in our staffing. We've been beefing up staffing. As I work for a state-operated agency, so I know what was in my head, why I went to work. And every time I do, since I've been going, it's like one thing after another after another. It was a separation, then a divorce, then it was COVID. I literally died and came back. It happened in my house. This fire is huge. And you know, when you love children and you love people, when you love people and things outside of yourself, their traumas, you kind of take on and inherit a little bit of that. Like, what was that? What was that? Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3? When every time someone passed away, one of the friends were murdered, the one young lady would like take on their personalities, her friends' personalities and their gifts. And you also get to see a glimpse of people's trauma and where they came from. You get to see that. I'm sensitive to that. I can't know that you have this on the other side of you and treat you like I don't know, because I do know. It's not enabling anyone or giving anyone any type of excuse, but it's like, man, you be what you needed. I've been through some shit, and I was put through some shit by people who had also been through some shit. Okay, they had been through it, and in my healing and my quest to not become hateful, to not become, and I hate that people ever using and have coined this statement, the stereotypical negative African American, I'm sorry, the stereotypical Black woman. The stereotypical Black woman, referring to the African American women. I was trying really hard to not be that. And so I go against many grains. The only way that you can be that is, man, you have to have a spirit of love, of genuine love, to the point where you consciously don't try to fuck with nobody. You're not trying to hurt anybody. You're not trying to take anything from anybody. And loving yourself, that's you loving others, right? But then you're loving yourself, where you're being kind to yourself. You don't put yourself in positions that you don't put yourself in positions where you are acting outside of your character. I don't know. I hate when people say that. It's not really acting outside of your character, but where you're having to dwell in your shadow side. That's not where you should be at. Anyway, so I was already on this quest and overcoming rumors and shit, and rumors and gossip in a workplace can be so fucking hurtful. Let me tell you, All the shit I've heard about myself, that's on top of this trauma with the fire. Man, y'all just don't know. So I was already overcoming that. I've been through a lot, and I'm coming through a lot. So I thought that when this thing with the fire happened, I was like, okay, I'm still in a state of shock. I knew I wasn't okay to just go back to work, and I took my leave. I took the time that I needed. It was more than a week. It was more than a week, maybe 2 weeks. And then I kind of skipped and scraped my knees after that, taking off days here and there, just to catch a wind, because I have been living through that trauma. I have not overcome that. I have not survived that. It still fucking got me. It got me. And then I felt so guilty because in this fire, it's like nobody died. No one died. And yes, I lost the table and the pillows and the comforter, which actually came from my grandmother. Gave that to my mother, who gave it to me. And the comforter was that heavy, that old. It meant that much to me. And yes, it was on my son's bed, because I had another comforter that I had just gotten from my sister. She gifted one to me also. So I'm just saying, there's a lot. Okay, I'm going to... Let me take myself upstairs. I feel like I'm seeing myself kind of blurry right now. Okay, so how can I post this? I told you I ain't got no tripod. I don't want to hear it. Don't save your judgment. Save your judgment. I don't have a tripod, okay? It's coming soon to a theater near you, and I show, and it's not what the message is about, is what's down there. So, yeah. This whole situation with this fire and all the things, it's like a blooming onion, or a blooming, I said onion, obviously I'm hungry, but a blooming flower. It just keeps, yeah, there are layers and layers to it, and I'm only coming to like really understand that. And every time I feel like I've made a little bit of progress, I don't. So I know if I were hearing it from someone else, right? If someone else said the same thing to me, I know all of the reassurances that could potentially like organically come from me. I know what I might say to someone if they told me that the exact same thing happened. I'm having a hard time taking it from myself. And one of the ways that I've been intuitively maneuvering through life is taking my advice. What would I say to someone else? I really wanted to help someone. If they told me this happened to them, or this is happening, what would I advise them? Stand up for yourself, or defend yourself, or defend so-and-so, or tactfully and respectfully say this to them, or, do this, because that way, you're leading with integrity, and you're not trying to hurt anyone. You're just removing yourself from, all the shit that I would say to anybody else. Don't blame yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Because it's like I feel like I'm being fair about it, and the fact is that nobody did die in the fire, and I didn't lose any substantial, nothing burnt. Okay, the things that caught on fire that I lost physically. So here are the stages of what I went through. I never called the police. I never called 911. I did report it to the property manager and the head of their maintenance. I did report that to them that same night, and followed up over the next few days, because we had to coordinate for their contractor to come out to do the estimate of the damage, and then to finally rip up the carpet and to paint over whatever wall, what I didn't see coming was my attachment and how sticky the whole situation would be. I didn't want anybody in my house when I wasn't there, especially while it was in that condition. Like I had just put a young man, it was a homeless guy that I was helping, that I was letting stay with me. And my children. I mean, I've cycled through several young people. These young people go through, man, they need us. But I needed to move differently. And I invited someone in my home, and the young man stole, like, I had a couple of pints, but he stole a pint of Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels are Parmesan that it was still alcohol in the bottleneck of the bottle, like in the very top, and I'd had it for over a year. That's how conservatively I drink. I don't really drink that much, but whenever I want it, it's there. And several bottles of wine. But anyway, okay. So I won't say that again. But the young man stole, and he stole some money. Well, I can't say that he stole the money. I don't know that he's the one that took the money, but no one else knew that it was there, but someone who's looking for something. But anyway, so I had just got before that, okay? While I'm working 2 full-time jobs. I was working at a hospital in the evening, and then working for the state in the daytime. I want to get back to that energy level, not necessarily using my energy like that, but I do want to get back to being more productive with myself, because this shit has sat me down. It has sat me down. I've been going over, even though I didn't lose any, I'm not going to say that again. Okay. I'm trying not to. So I'm going to try to condense it as much as I possibly can, because I know that I made a bunch of different little clips, but this is my first video where I will be trying to edit, where I will be using editing tools. I've never done it before. I've only watched tutorials and videos, so I'm going to be trying that. Okay, so there'll be a lot of stuff cut, okay? Okay. Ah! Because I bumped the desk with my knee. Okay, I'll cut. Okay. 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 So, I'm trying to condense it as much as possible. I fear that if I'm looking at the footage, I'm sure I'm at least 15 minutes into, and I have it all written out. It's all right here. I don't need to be reminded of my scripting, of my story, because it's right here, and it's right here. So I know what it is. It's a nervous energy. I don't like giving the term anxiety so much power by saying it or even acknowledging it. You know, anxiety, for me, because it's like before I had anxiety, before I was a part of the anxiety clique, team anxiety, team anxiety. See what I just did? That's too much fucking power. But it's true. I mean, I was fearless. I am fearless. I'm not afraid of anything or fucking anybody. I'm not. Well, there's one exception. But as a friend of mine, an old friend, used to tell me, again, I am overcoming that thing that I am definitely damn well still very much afraid of. The only one thing, okay? It ain't near a human being, so there. All right? But well, there may be another contender, okay? Because lately when I'm driving, I'm having an issue driving over bridges and shit. I've driven all over the world, all over Europe, all over the United States. So that's not all over the world, all over a couple of countries, continents, there. Yeah. For those who are really like literal, like it just be technical, like I haven't driven. But the point is that I love a good road trip. I love driving. Since this fire, since my post-COVID anxiety, but specifically, like it's refreshed because I had overcome that. I was overcoming it. No, I'd overcome it. I even got to where I could speed again. Okay. Now I'm back to, I have to back off of the highway. I cannot stay on that hoe too long. Okay, I'm just gonna try to get it out. So the fire. And every time I record the video, there's a lot of this pausing, which is why I scrapped so many videos. But now it's like, you know something? I don't fucking care. I don't care. That's not where I am right now. Because maybe okay. So I went through a stage of not wanting to leave the house because I felt so naked and vulnerable, and I was ashamed and I was embarrassed. Not that anybody even knew what I was struggling with or that I was struggling. No one knew. I didn't tell anybody at my job how bad it was, how bad it wasn't. Well, I did share with one person. Okay, 2 people. I did tell 2 people like when it was going down, and I lost another job. One of the full-time jobs that I had. I was fired because it was just crippling. I could not go back to work. But I kept the state job, you know, the one at the hospital. That was secondary. That was just extra income. That's what I do with my free time. I do not club. I do not party. No, I don't care about going on trips. I care about making a lot of money. And not for myself. I live very frugally. So I use that money that I make. That's what I use to take care of my mother and my father and my sisters and my children. And everyone is everyone is independent in their own right, but everyone needs some help. I am the goat. We are all goats. Hold on. We are all goats in my family. So before my sisters, pop me, like, what? What you just say? What did I heard you say? I'm literally blushing right now. Hold on. I made myself blush. Okay, so before all of that, I'm just saying I had the jobs for a reason. And after this fire, I could not keep both of them. And the one job was trying so hard. This isn't about the job, that other job anyway. But anyway, so I lost a job behind my post-fire trauma. My main job forced me into taking FMLA to preserve my job. When I say forced me to, because I don't want to. I'm not just trying to slide them under the bus necessarily. They told me that I needed to take out FMLA to go and see a physician to justify my need to be away from work, so that they would not end up giving my job away to someone else. Why the fuck they would do that, I have no idea. When we have 3 other leads, a supervisor and a manager, and plenty of SMEs coming up, subject matter experts. For those who don't know, we are more equipped, better equipped than what we were when we first started. So I'm not saying that it's anyone's job to pick up my slack, but I'm saying that I was ready to come back to work, or I thought I was. And here's the double-edged sword here, because on one hand, my job forced me to see a physician who would release me to come back to work. And in my mind, and I'm telling them this too, I don't need to be released to come back to work. I didn't fucking die in the fire, or I wasn't like injured. I can come back to work right now. I need to make my money. Never mind that I had hundreds of hours of leave time available because I didn't hardly take off. For years, I'm just coming into work, busting it. So I had hundreds of hours. This is what it's for, damn it. This is what that time is for. I don't need to justify shit to me, but someone else needed to see it. So I run around and I got paid a bunch of damn co-pays. to go to the doctor to be seen. They try to give me their employee assistance program, the EAP. I'm saying try. Both places mention the EAP program. I took it with the job that I lost, and the one that I kept, I pushed them away. I know now that I should have, I actually will still take them up on it because this is my active current employer. And so, but anyway, I'm just saying, so there are some things, I did lose some things in the fire. It's just not the property that most people lose. And I'm trying to get it back. I'm trying so hard to get it back. It's like I went to work finally after being out, and not wanting the contractors and the apartment staff to be in my place without me. It's just me and my daughter. My son has not really been living at home since like August of last year, October of last year. So it's just me and my daughter, his twin. It's just the two of us. And so other than this fire, I'm hyper sensitive security wise. I'm always at home. It's only work or home. Only work or home. Since I've been divorced, even before I got divorced, I am a homebody. I was raised that way. That's the way I am. I've never just been out in the streets. I don't have to go to lounges and brunches and shit like that. Not shunning the people who do, because it's good to be social. But there's a class of people that never do any of that shit. They don't know what the latest movie is. They don't know what the latest music outside of the genre that they like. And I see the strengths and the flaws in that. But it's beautiful. Some people that are not at all attached to anything on social media, they don't go outside of themselves or outside of their homes. It's getting increasingly harder for me to finish this video. I never say this much. Okay, so I went through not wanting to leave the house to go to work. And then when I finally got to work, I'm going to make this last part as fast as possible. When I finally got to work and started going back to work, I just felt like everything kind of had a funny smell to it. I was sensitive to that, like not wanting to smell that, and not really understanding what it was that I was smelling. I sat in my apartment for so long with that smoke. Hadn't done any type of deep cleaning, and then I learned there is no getting that shit out. So then I wanted to go back home, and I realized I had come accustomed to smelling that smoke, and it didn't smell bad anymore. I mean, I smelt it, but it wasn't like unbearable. I won't say I liked it, but I liked it because I like weird shit like that. Like I smell almost everything, like when I get it, it's mine. So that may have been being too personal, but that's one of my senses that I am very much in touch with. So, I overcame that part of needing to smell what I smelled at home at work. And I couldn't figure out like what it was for so long.
From English.com, it means belonging to it.
Repeat that. Alexa, repeat that.
Sorry, there is nothing to repeat.
Alexa, you just said something. Repeat what you just said a minute ago. I wasn't even talking to her. She ain't never said shit to me. You hear me? Alexa tried to get in my shit just now. She scared me just a little bit. So, anyway, so I went through the whole issue with my sense of smell and smelling that, and it's so weird, since COVID, like my sense of smell and taste come and go. I have those residual, long-reaching, long-lasting, long-haul COVID symptoms, and they're not consistent. They come and they go, like the anxiety that I only have since then, never had before. Again, that's another video. I can't wait to share with you about that. In fact, I might do that directly after. Okay, so anyway, and meanwhile, like, I'm dealing with all this stuff. I'm going to work, and my coworkers, I'm not mumbling a word. I'm not saying anything to anyone. I just don't want to be weight on anybody's plate. I don't want to burden anyone. Not that I feel burdened when opportunities to help someone or even to be an ear to someone. Like, I never feel burdened by those people. But I know that most people don't receive others the same way. I've seen the cruelty of this world in the same place where I've seen kindness and generosity and mercy and love. Like, I'm not one of those that I harp on. Like, even right now, I'm not talking about necessarily the trauma itself. I want to share with you how I've been processing it. For those who, if you've advanced past me and you can see all of the errors that I made, or and the errors that I'm still making, man, hit me up and help me. And for those of you who you are at the very beginning, it's just happened to you. It would have been nice. Like, I didn't see it. Maneuvering through something like this, I haven't seen any type of trauma like this. And I don't watch a lot of TV anymore, like the places that you would pick it up when you don't get it from your own life experience. To observe it and learn it at someone else's expense, as someone else's lesson that you kind of learned. It was a bonus, like a bonus room in a house. I'm sorry. My sense of humor. Okay. I just mean to help is all I'm saying. And so anyway, so I got through that, and I've been getting through it, and there's a lot of politicking at my job going on. I'm talking heavy, hot shit. We deal with rules and regulations, and that is just our job. It's our job for the state that I work in, and I'm very honored, and I'm very grateful. I'm grateful that I have it. I'm grateful for my position. Okay, so, but this trauma that I've been sitting on, that they are aware of it. So I was mad that they forced me. They gave me the ultimatum, like, to preserve your job, you need to get this. I wasn't out for like 6 weeks or no shit like that, but they were coming down on me pretty hard with the pressure for me to return to work. Though I thought I was ready, that was the double-edged sword that I was talking about in the other video. That I thought that I was ready to come back to work, and they wanted me to get that cleared by a physician. So when I went to my physician to tell her, like, hey, I've experienced this. No, I ain't talked to you because I don't have a behavioral health issue. I don't have a medical issue. I didn't get burnt in the fire. That's me minimizing my trauma. And because I did that, I was reluctant to see her. And she was completely in the dark, like, okay, what happened? You had a fire? Okay, so you didn't hurt nothing? Okay, why can't you go to work? I wasn't forthcoming with her about my symptoms. And let me tell you why. So now I have to talk about I have to talk about the anxiety. So when I met her, which I was referred to her right after I survived COVID. I can't say survived. If you're still suffering, then you're not survived. You're surviving. At the top of my trauma with COVID, okay, I was battling with the idea that I even had the trauma of dying, of fearing death that close and personal when I got super, super sick. And the understanding that the symptoms that I was experiencing, the hell that I was living through, was anxiety that has many faces. When it knows no one the exact same. And I know that now because there are so many people who I know, who I knew and still know, that they tried to describe it to me. People that I was trying to help. I was in love with someone that had anxiety really, really bad. Now, I don't know. I don't think that his was, I mean, he knew where he was. But he was way past explaining and painting a picture. He tried, and I just did not get it. And in my mind, I was like, I can help you through this. You're in a dark place. You're having these bad days. I am abundant with sunshine. I'm abundant with light. Let me come to you and help you. If I come over there and just get you out of the house a little bit, needless to say, that went to hell. Because I couldn't see him, and he knew I couldn't. He knew. That's not something that anyone can help with. He didn't know how to respond and just say that. I get it. You know, I actually called him and told him, too, after I got COVID. I called this guy and told him, hey, I know it's been a few years since I've seen you, or however long it had been, 3, 4, however many it had been. I called him and told him, like, hey, I learned that this is what I got now. And I remember when you told me that you had this, and everything is, I didn't minimize your feelings or minimize your experience. I want you to know that I know now that I did not see you. And I am sorry. I'm sorry. He kind of hit me back with some shit that sounded like, basically just because, you're apologizing, asking for forgiveness doesn't mean that I'm obligated to forgive. And I'm like, let's not forget that I didn't come to you seeking your forgiveness. I apologize. I did ask your forgiveness to let you know that I truly am sorry. But I still got myself to protect too. And we don't see myself the same way. We don't see me the same way. And so you're allowed to feel what you feel over there, and I'm over here. I know what was in my heart, and I executed that. What you do with that, that's your business. And I excuse myself from that connection from him. Maybe I got excused. I don't know. But I'm happy that I'm good. I'm good. So I'm just saying, I understand now. I understand where he was. The fucks that you would have to give that I do not give to be explaining it to people that it. And then my daughter's calling again, so I can't fucking do anything without someone calling. God! Okay. I'm going to get back on track with that because I can talk about the anxiety. But I've been baffled by how I've been handled pertaining to this. Because it's like, when I first was diagnosed with anxiety, right? She told me that I have anxiety. Or that I had the symptoms of anxiety. Because it's not, I never had it before that. Not ever. No low levels of it, nothing. Which from what I've been very fortunate. Despite experiencing heavy traumas, like I translate it, the anxiety, when I feel it, it translates to me as fear. As fear. And I've had to come up in a place, I would have been crushed under that fear if I had a spirit of fear. From childhood, if I had a spirit of fear, I would have been crushed under it. I've had to survive heavy trauma as a child and as a young adult, having eloped and gotten married at 18, went overseas. No mutual friends, family members, spiritual counselors, no one to break up. A real bad experience. I'm a bunch of them. When I went to the doctor and told her what I was experiencing, she prescribed something called sertraline. And I took sertraline, and in the first 2 weeks, and I'm not heavy on going to the doctor. I'm not one of those every time I get a headache, run to the ER, run to the doctor. If I'm sitting in the emergency room, I am in heavy pain. Otherwise, I will schedule an appointment with the doctor tomorrow or whatever day after. That's the first available. I don't go to the doctor for any old reason. I do try to heal myself holistically. And so, even more so since this part. So I started taking sertraline, and in the first 2 weeks of taking sertraline, all of my hair fell out over here. Like, it's coming back now. So I don't put like any stress on it. Like over here, this is just grown out. This is a terribly old crochet which I love my hair. I like it. The older it gets, the better. I just love it. I love it, love it, love it. But it is really old. But I'm just saying, at the top of my issue here, this part looked just like this. There was no hair here. My hair fell all the way out. And so that happened and started like at the 2-week mark of taking it. I called her up and told her, like, I respect that you're trying to help me. She already knew that I was holistic. I never take any medications. I don't want to take shit. I do take care of my body. Some people would disagree, but my test results say that I'm not diabetic. My test results also say that I do not have high blood pressure and a whole bunch of other shit that I don't have. I am STD free. I'm also really not sexually active. I mean, if you have sex like once a year, I mean, I guess that's some activity. It's not complete inactivity. So you can't say, okay, anyway, that's a whole nother shit. Okay, so anyway, when I went to this doctor and told her that I wasn't going to take that medicine, she advised me against it. And I told her after meditating on it, after fasting on it, after literally sitting down and chatting with the ancestors, with the God about it, my real fix is cleaning up all of the issues that are causing and contributing to those triggers of anxiety. To heal myself from the inside out. Didn't really think that I needed that. I thought I was pretty solid within myself, but there are some things that when you experience certain traumas, that it peels back some layers of your veil, man. It peels that shit back. Your subconscious is way more active than people may realize. Even the experts, the so-called experts. And I won't discredit you. You're an expert. When you know more of some shit than anybody else knows, I'm not going to discredit you. I'm just saying, for what the subconscious protects us from, that we are not processing or even aware that is being processed in our waking mind, in our conscious mind. The subconscious, for me, apparently, has been in hyperdrive, okay, since I was a child. So when I don't experience traumas the same way other people do, I don't process information and receive people the same way most people do. People who have not, if you haven't done any inner work, if you haven't done any healing, if you've never gotten therapy at all, if you've never gotten counseling of any type, you don't know about communication, if you don't know about how to communicate your feelings. When I'm talking about communication, it's how you're communicating to yourself and how you communicate with others, yes, but how you communicate with yourself. It's so odd to hear people up here from, I don't have a ground unit. I'm past the second floor. And so to hear when it sounds like someone is right outside of my window and I'm looking at the top of an electric pole, like a telephone tower, a telephone pole, I'm up pretty high. So I'm not expecting to hear it. It sounds like someone is right outside my window. But I know that they're on the ground. I just heard the car door open. But anyway, it's just weird. Okay, so anyway, she was angry that I wouldn't take the medicine that she prescribed. She also gave me an inhaler. So at the top of my anxiety, I was prescribed sertraline. And sertraline tore my hair out in the first 2 weeks that I started taking it. So I resolved to go back to not taking shit that's prescribed to me that I don't have to take. No punt or disrespect intended towards the pharmaceutical companies necessarily, because there is a lot of good that is being done with these medications that are being crafted to ease human symptoms, to ease discomforts, to correct things. I do see the good in it. I do. But I also, for the wickedly ingenious people who have crafted those things that are not meant to help any damn body. The fact that I don't know, I can't say for sure that this medication has side effects that are not up to and including death. I don't need to take shit that obviously is a type of poison. It's a remedy and a poison at the same time. Like the core of the apple has arsenic. One of the best fruits. That's a super fruit. An apple is a powerful. It's a powerfully designed treat and mechanism. Like they're eating certain things, you are eating the antibiotic, you are eating the remedy, because what's in that kills the bad stuff. But anyway, okay, I'm rambling. Anyway, so she gave me the sertraline, tore my hair out. I told her I wasn't going to take the sertraline anymore. I resolved to remove any negative attachments. I didn't just kick people out. The things that I could resolve, I made the conscious effort. Okay, I'd already been doing that. But even more so, the toxic work environment that I was in, all the fucking whistles got blown that needed to be blown. All the ones that I had, I even picked up a couple of other ones. I got some more whistles, just to correct things. Like, I don't want anyone to get in trouble. I just know that I cannot continue coming to work in this environment. The people outside of work, I see you as a friend, but you are moving and talking and acting and sneezing and smelling like pho. Off with your motherfucking head. Off with your head. That you didn't know how to treat me or how to behave with me. That you were mistreating your animals, your dogs, your cats. You mistreating your children. Are you out there mistreating yourself? And combative, not responsive to not necessarily instruction, but encouragement from a friend. And I'm a friend to several people. I trimmed it all off. I got rid of a lot of excess weight. Male, female, young, old, different nationalities. I don't know a hell of a lot of people. But I'm just saying, I did what I needed to do to completely end the things. And I had some really bad habits myself, stuff that I was doing, ways of processing information, handling myself and handling people. Like the mirror had enough room for all of us. Let me say that, on both sides of that thing. Okay. So I was doing what I needed to do to heal myself more, or should I say, to expedite my healing. Because I believe, and I've observed that it's ongoing. It's going to be an ongoing battle. And I'm game, because I'm in it. I'm not going to die under it. So I started chewing gum, right? And telling myself, it's so bad when I chew on gum. In my family, the moment that someone sees it, even before they can hear it, at the moment that they see that I have gum in my mouth, they're holding out anything that they can hold out so that it doesn't touch their hand. And I know to just spit it in there. Because I know I am a grazer. I graze. I do. Most of the time, I don't care what anyone thinks about it, but I graze. I'm not proud of it. I'm not ashamed of it. I am what I am. I do what I do. I graze. I'm a grazer. I'm a grazer. How can I say with pride, I graze? And because I have a hole that I need to have filled before I need a root canal for not filling it, I use this gum to get into the top of one of these holes up here. It pulls out all the stuff that I don't pull out when I'm floss picking, right? So I graze. Okay, so anyway, so I've told the woman that I'm not going to take this medicine, and here's what I'm going to do instead. And she wished me luck. She was actually sad And she was like, I wish you luck. She's like, you might want to try some breathing exercises. She gave me some other options, and I love her for that. I respect her for that, because I know it's a spit in the face when a physician recommends any treatment for you. If your body rejects it, that's one thing, but they are expecting you to trust them. We're supposed to have a baseline level of trust and respect in your relationship, in any relationship, but definitely between you and your physician. So I don't take it personally that she was taking my response to her instruction personally. I could tell she was. I don't need anything added to my problems. And I'm not going to be your fucking guinea pig taking a bunch of different medications to remedy a problem that there's an internal side effect. That's the effect. But what caused it, what started this shit is external. It's external. And I mean to attack that. That is the enemy, not the symptom. And so, and she did agree with that. She did agree with that. And so because of that, I opened my mouth. So, I do respect. I respect. I'm just saying, I know a doctor has to do their job. I understand they have to do their job. And why are you paying them and taking your time to go and talk to them, hopping on their calendar, on their appointment book, setting an appointment and spending the money and spending the time, and you don't fully trust them. You trust their guests better than your own. And I understand that, because they have some schooling that suggests that they should be equipped to answer those questions that I'm just going to sit here for a minute and hold the phone now that I'm not shaking again, because it's down lower than I care for it to be. I did invest in a Polaroid. I kept calling it the GoPro. It is not it's not a Google product. It's Polaroid. Is that a scratch? But I didn't know this part right here. Let me sit you back up here. Okay. What is casting that light? That shadow? Because there's no one right there. It looks like someone's right there. Anyway. It takes an SD card. I didn't know that. So I've had this thing for a long time now. I want to say more than 6 months, and I've never used it. Like, I keep it charged. I keep charging it. I have not used this thing. I don't feel good about it. That's my truth, though. I'm going to. And that I wanted that to aid me in sharing the things that I choose, or the things that I'm starting to share with you. But so what the hell is that? Is that bleach? Please don't be bleach. Open your eyes before you die. I guess I'll be putting that down. Okay, so I'll cover this up a little bit. So it looks like a basket on my head. I remember the day I was given permission by a Caucasian counterpart at this place. We actually became really good friends. That he came up to me and was like, I want you to know that I feel completely comfortable with your hair. I see your hair and what you do with it. I think it's really cool. And he said, as long as you don't like Like it doesn't turn into a basket and you start like putting things in it like twigs and apples, and I was just like, yeah. Anyway, oh, that was a real thing that really happened. So I forgot I've literally dimmed my own light. Um, she prescribed something that tore my hair out. I stopped taking it, and I told her why I wasn't going to take it anymore, and that I resolved to just heal myself from the inside out. And instead of treating the symptoms that we're calling anxiety, I would rather remedy the cause. I'd rather kill the cause, the things that are contributing those triggers, and issues in my life, and attachments, people that were just around me that had no business being around me. Obviously, the thing at my job, I had no control over that, and that is just ongoing. You ever heard a rumor about yourself? Yeah, that's a whole nother that's another video. But I promise it is coming. It is coming. It actually should have come a long time ago, but so should a lot of these videos that you're gonna get from me now. You're gonna get them now, okay? So, because I cannot imagine if there's anyone else, and if there's nothing new under the sun, then I'm sure I'm not the first person that any of this stuff has happened to, and I'm not gonna be the last. And in my darkest hour, when I was after the praying and after the meditation and after the literal leaning into my support system, that self-discovery and knowing where I fall in and how all things work together, and it's the literal being what you need. And if you're consciously doing that, you do that proactively, not reactively. It's not for someone, if someone is experiencing it and you happen to catch wind of it, then you say something. There's so much that I've learned just from observing other people and their come ups and their fails, their fallouts, you know. I observe much, and I've learned so much. And so with all of the content and information circulating over the internet, it's like, let me see what I can put on it, what I can deposit, into the pot. Who I can help with my information. I don't have a college degree. I don't have that. But I have a lot of life experience, good and bad, that when I share with other people, specifically like younger people, but all people, older than me, younger than me, different nationalities, does not matter the gender. I even talk to animals, birds, and the flowers and shit too. Yeah, we all friends, okay? We all friends. Anyway, I try to help. I just try to help. Even when you think that there's not a need there, just you being yourself, you're being an example so that people hear later, oh, she went through X, Y, and Z. I never would have thought that. I don't want you to see my trauma. I want you to see what happened because of it. That's all you're looking at. When you meet people, everybody got some shit that they went through, and they can all go back. They will all of us can go back to when we were children. This happened. Let me help you with here's one exercise for all those people who have their parents strung up on the cross, right? Remember that your parents were young when they had you. Even if your parents were in their 40s or 50s when they had you, they were fucking young when they had you. They were young when they had you. I don't care how many books you read. I don't care if you have several PhDs in childhood, early childhood. That does not prepare you to become a parent. To become a parent. To nurture a life. to protect and nurture and to steer and to mold and to tolerate. To calibrate your frequency to your child so that you can positively impact their lives. That is not some shit that you can learn in any book. And it's just like anything else. Someone can tell you over and over and over how to do it, but until you have experienced it yourself, until it's your turn, you really don't know how to do it. You really don't know. I mean, you can have the core is, being as healthy as possible. You got to make sure that they're fed properly, that they're hydrated, that they have clean clothes and things like that. But my whole point is let your parents down, man. Off of the cross or wherever you have them. If you have them metaphorically hung, if they're metaphorically being tarred and feathered by you, they don't owe you shit. They gave you life, and whatever they did or didn't do, it's whatever they did or didn't do. You thank them for the things that they did. That was amazing. Thank them for it as often as you possibly can. They don't need you shaming them and shoning them and trying to humiliate them, trying to out. I'm gonna let these motherfuckers know. They think you a good dad over here. You a good mom over there. Oh, you can be you got a stepsister now. You can be, and now you got kids and you think, hating ass people. Don't be one of those. Go heal yourself. When I left my parents' home at 18 years old, I left with someone who, we were each other's first everything. My first boyfriend, first sexual experience, all that shit, yeah. We were like best friends. We actually, in my opinion, we shouldn't have gotten married, okay? We shouldn't have. Not at the time that we got married, not at 18, 19 years old. We were 18 and 19 when we got married. 20 when we had our first child. I'm just saying, when I married him and went overseas, he was never at home. I won't say never. He was hardly at home. I went and put myself through counseling on and off post. I wanted to heal myself. I didn't want to become any of the women in my family who were projecting that hatred of themselves, hatred of our people. It felt and looked like they hated men, that they specifically hated black men. It wasn't that. It's how they were communicating their feelings and their experiences based on, it's a very small, it's a skewed, your perception is a skewed ass perception. Even if you travel the world and you've seen much, you can be 110 years old, 120 years old, and you still have a skewed perspective about shit. But I wanted to learn about what I was feeling. I did not want to hate them. Like, I don't want to feel like that. And I don't want to fucking feel weak for not wanting to fucking hate them. I don't want to feel like that. But I hate you. I hate you. I hated you. I hated you when I was a kid. And I don't hate anybody now. I can honestly say I don't hate anyone. I hate some aspects of them that still haven't fucking changed, but I don't hate anybody. But in my quest to not hate anyone and to not become them, I reached outside of myself and I got myself some counseling. I got myself some therapy. I learned how to communicate my feelings and how to better interpret other people's feelings. They're acting like this, but why? So because of that, I'm OCD about why. I obsess over why. Why fucking matters every time. This is another tangent / ramble. Oh my God. And when I finished doing all of that with all the people in my life, all the frenemies, all the co-workers, all of the older adults, the elders in my family who left significant scars on me, to have the conversations that I had to have with some of them, my sisters, my children, my parents, myself. I was a hell of a lot healthier and happier for that. A lot. So, and all of my symptoms went away. I went through the hyperventilating and losing my breath. They thought that it was related to COVID, which it was. It was a byproduct of COVID, in that it was that anxiety that was gifted to me from COVID, post-COVID anxiety. And I'm going to keep calling it that. And people get mad about it, but fuck that. Either I had that before COVID, or I never fucking had it before COVID. That's what it is. I didn't have anxiety before that. So whatever that has come back since the fire, that that now I can't drive on the highway. I mean, I can when I make myself, and every time I do, I'm making myself drive. I don't even like to drive anymore. I don't like it anymore. If you see me out, you have no idea. Well, you know, if you're looking at this video, then you have an idea now of what I have to stand up to just to sit in the fucking car and drive it. Just to sit in the car and drive it. Our highway system and the turnpike, man, that's there to help us. And I am just like, I can't go too fast. And if I'm going like, the speed limit is like 60, right? There's this one exit. I get up on it and it's like, it's a conservative speed to go around this exit, to go 40 miles an hour, but just the slowing down from 60 to 40 because I'm conscious of it. Oh my God. I'm grazing again. I'm grazing. Save your judgment. Okay. So anyways, when I tell the doctor after the fire that, hey, I've experienced a little bit of trauma here and my anxiety is being triggered, and I need some time off from work. I have a whole bunch of hours. They gave me some FMLA paperwork. I got FMLA paperwork. If you can take a look at this paperwork and fill it out with the facts of my condition and how I'm doing, and I should be good. She was reluctant to do that. I'm like, I'm not asking you for any medicine. I'm asking for you to attest to this part of my medical history that you have record of, right? I'm sharing it with you right now and telling you that I'm not okay to just be at work answering inquiries about the rules and the legislative rules and regulations that govern our agency. This is a state-operated agency. That's a hot conversation every time we have it. Not because the topic itself that we're looking up and researching, the anxiety that I know that my answer has to be 100% right. I cannot be wrong in my answer while being professional, okay? And personable, and building and or maintaining rapport with and it's not me. It's like I am not on the phones taking the calls. My staff is. I have a small team under me, and I assist overall in the call center. There are 3 other leads. Okay, I was the first, but there are 3 other ones. Okay, damn good. Definitely honored to work alongside you guys and work in the trenches. Get that elbow dap. Okay, okay. Because they be humping their asses off. They do. We do. And so anyway, She signed that FMLA paperwork that allowed me to go back to work, or it released me. I had to be released to go back to work. It released me to go back to work with no restrictions. So I can still be asked to return a supervisor phone call. And I told your ass that I'm not ready for that I can't, because my anxiety is too out of control. And you don't get to tell me, in my opinion, you don't get to tell me that I have to take medication, that I have to take the medication instead of being allowed the time to work through my shit. Because I tried your medication, which added to my trauma. I tried it and it did not work for me. Not only did it tear my damn hair out, but it also actually did not help me with my anxiety. It didn't help shit. I'm not willing to try something else. I'm not. This only comes up, when the anxiety comes up with me, when my voice is being muffled, when there's some shit like that going on, it's like my fight or flight. If there's something prohibiting my fight, because I ain't got no flight in me. I'm not going to run from shit. So if there's something inhibiting my fight, then that is where the anxiety is coming from. I'm working in an environment where I don't feel respected. Well, I know that I'm not respected, but that's based on someone who was in a position of leadership, who, instead of seeing me as her ally, seeing me as her teammate, and as someone that was there to help her, who was helping her, she saw me as competition and treated me as such. Yeah, I have been hearing, and am still hearing. I haven't been to work. I didn't go to work all last week. All of last week, not one day. How the fuck am I still hearing rumors about myself? I'm not calling my damn self. I'm not calling any of these people either. I'm not going up to them, and I'm not saying people like it's a conspiracy theory, like it's some shit that I heard. This is my life. I'm going through some stuff. She told me that she would give me a stronger inhaler if that would help. She asked me if I was using my nebulizer, and I told her no, because I know that I don't fucking have asthma. I don't have asthma while I'm taking any of those steroid inhalers. I don't want that, because I don't have asthma. This issue is anxiety, and the anxiety is actually not the issue. The issue is the damn issue. The issue is the issue. And my response to it needs to be an appropriate response. Then I have no anxiety. And so that's what I've been doing. But in this case, when there's nothing triggering this anxiety, except for I'm frustrated because I just wanted to come back to work. And I was not able to do that. I thought that if I just told my supervisor and my manager, hey, I'm here, but I need just a little bit of break from your supervisor calls, right? Those heated conversations. Right now, I'm not the one, not right now. So either you can make those phone calls back, or give it to one of the other leads, just until I get myself sorted out. Because in every other aspect of my job, I'm good. I can do this, and this. Every day is not filled with, I'm not the one on the phones taking the phone calls. So it's not like we have supervisor calls every single day. I'm telling you, I can do this job, and I can do what you need me to do, just minus that part right there, until I get my nervous system until I can get it bandaged up some more and heal it some more. I just can't right now. And the fact that I refuse to fill a prescription from this doctor, she wrote me out an FMLA paperwork that once I went back to work, that was the extent of my coverage. There was nothing to cover me for appointments. There wasn't the verbiage of okay, if I need a couple of days a week, not for my day job, because remember I had 2 full-time jobs. So this was just for the evening job that she told them that I could sit and register patients. I was a registrar, admitting clerk, patient access specialist, patient access representative. It has a bunch of different names, but the people who know, okay? It is what it is. And in my day job, I am a team lead supervisor for a state-operated call center. And in this call center, the specialists take the calls from... So I just said...